So I guess the question goes to the whole panel, and wherever you want to start on that. Investors try to pick companies that have the greatest chance of succeeding. And then often they provide support in the form of great contacts and management advice and all that kind of thing. Yet despite that, a very large percentage of them never reach those potential goals. When you look at the ones that, in your experience, have reached that potential goal, what would you say are the characteristics that you see? Now, this is on the positive side rather than the ones that are missing, but what are just a handful, like one or two of the pointers that you would look for in those, of the ones that you've seen succeed?
Why don't I start with Gloria? We'll go to Brett and then Mike. Gloria?
An investor has never picked me, so no. We'll have a buddy system. We'll talk later. But no one's ever approached me or wanting to invest in my company. I started the company on my own. I'm a 100% shareholder, and so yeah, I couldn't even begin to address that, because I mean, I am open to opportunities, and I am seriously thinking of growing my business next year and you know, just diversifying into vertical markets, but I'm definitely going to.
But did you seek investments? But Gloria, did you go out and seek them, or it was just a decision you made to try it first and get a beachhead?
It's a decision I made. It was an informed decision I made to just try and to try to succeed on my own.
And why is that? Instead of saying going to the...
Maybe I'm a little greedy, you know. Maybe I just didn't want to share it. Perhaps I didn't want to. I want to see if I could do this on my own. So.
Okay. Brett?
I've worked with two very distinct types of entrepreneurs, some who are very soul-minded, single-minded, and driven, and they go down their own path. And I've worked with people, and in my own case, I work very closely with a number of partners. Most of my success in life, whether it was First Energy or Wilson Mackey or Canoe Financial, is with partners. So I'm not afraid of sharing, because often 1 + 1 in my world is 3. So big thing there. The other core skill that I see within those who are more successful than others, and when I get a chance to talk about it, there's 3 things that I think every student should study. But the first one is marketing. I don't care what business you're in. If you haven't got a sale, it doesn't matter how well you do it or how well you build it if you can't sell it.
And it's interesting you say that, because one of the questions that came in was, what's more important when you look at someone? Is it the ability to sell their product, service, or would you say it's good to be an engineer or from a financial background? And so you, Brett, I gather you would say get out and sell. Marketing sell is the key.
Well, we can't underplay. I mean, it's amusing. In the oil and gas industry, we have people who have been involved with several hundred startups in oil and gas, and there's 3 or 4 prime skill sets in the oil and gas industry. Geology for finding it, engineering for exploiting it, land for developing the deals, accounting for keeping track of it. And it's amazing how often I'll have a landman come in and say, I can rent the other skills. Or I'll have an engineer come in and say, no, you need an engineer, I can rent the other skills. And so they treat all the others in deference. But when I see a team come in, and I don't mean a team of 4 accountants, I mean a team of all the skills set up, and no lawyers, I just don't like those. That's sort of my core, the core competency group. So they have to address everything. But again, without a sale, let's not forget, you have nothing.
Do you think one of the biggest issues then is, I know when I started as well, my mentor said, look, would you rather have 10% of $1 million or 10% of 50 million? Is that, I see that with a lot of guys starting out. Is that, would you say that's an issue, that equity?
Just to dwell on that for half a moment, I mean, entrepreneurs are often clinically or psychologically unemployable. That's one of the reasons they're on their own.
I'm here.
I accept that as a criticism. But that doesn't mean they can't work nice or play nice with others. Some can, some can't. And that really speaks to the sort of team they build around them. In First Energy, when we built that, it was a team of 8 partners. We had consensus building around everything. Drove us nuts, took a little longer, whereas the benevolent dictator is the ideal form of democracy and the ideal form of running a company. You listen, you act in a responsible way, and then you get it done. So there's a range of outcomes there in terms of what makes a great entrepreneur, because we certainly see examples of, Richard Branson's got a head office staff of 30, running 500 businesses, 5 billion, I mean, whatever it is, but he's centralized, and he's actually centralized and at the same time delegated. I couldn't do that.
Interesting. And Mike, your response? I'll go to you, Gloria, right after that. Mike?
I would just lift off of what Gloria said, which is, you know what differentiates you in the marketplace? If you could articulate clearly, not only to your partners, but also to your potential clients, why they should be buying from you, that goes a long way, because more often than not, you can have a great idea, but if you can't articulate why somebody should be doing business with you, You know, we've seen a lot of great companies with great ideas fail because they couldn't attract clients through the door because people didn't quite understand what it was they were trying to do. So know what your value proposition is, how does it differentiate you from others, and then how do you speak it out in plain language so people want to come through your doors and do business with you?
Okay, Gloria, you want to talk?
I really do believe, and I want to expand on that, the ability to sell. You really should have the ability to sell. I mean, my background was in sales. This is what I did. I sold insurance, automobile insurance to, the public for insurance companies for many years. And I think that, having just feeling comfortable with the ability to hear you're going to hear a lot of no's out there. It just gets you so much closer to yes. We talked about this earlier. And if you're not able to recognize and to create your brand, you are the brand. Going into a new business, you are a no-name brand. Essentially, no one know about me. No one's heard about my company. No one wanted to listen. They didn't want to take the risk. But you persevere and you try to get your message across and differentiate what it is that you bring, the difference you bring to the marketplace, and try to get in that way.
Okay, very good. Our first question from the Globe and Mail.